Welcome back to class, dear students. In this lesson, we are focusing on TypeScript, and similar to how we did the JavaScript API crash course, the other ones like the GraphQL crash course, I'm also going to make this a crash course, which means everything, essential thing you need, basic things you need, working with TypeScript for the first time will be covered in this course. As you can see, the outline that will be covered. Now, at the same time, we are always encouraging you to embrace AI. That's why this is an AI enhanced. So we use AI along the way. All those AI tools we have discussed severally, make sure you make use of them. But before you make use of them, this is like a language. If you don't even have a basic understanding of TypeScript, even if AI generates it for you, you may be confused, you may not even know what it's saying. So but everything you need then to start using the AI with TypeScript will be, and TypeScript is so important because you use it from previous lesson we talked about JavaScript frameworks. So TypeScript are so essential to use with JavaScript framework like React, Next.js and things like that. Even I think SvelteKit also have TypeScript integrated now. So let's get started looking at first what is JavaScript. We're going to cover a lot from section A, B, C and things like that, and intro to TypeScript, setting up TypeScript types and interface, classes, objects in TypeScript, advanced TypeScript feature, TypeScript best practices. Then we now convert our existing, from each section and lesson, we've been trying to build our capstone project, which is a token, full stack token minter. So we are currently building the front end, and in future courses where we do move to the back end smart contract. So, and also maybe the middleware. So we have the middleware as well, so which like Web3.js, Eta.js and things like that. So now let's take this one after the other. What is TypeScript? TypeScript is a statically typed superset of JavaScript. Provides developer with the tool to write more predictable and bug-resistant code. TypeScript enhances JavaScript by introducing types. That's it. So that's what it. Types provide a way to describe the shape of an object, providing better documentation and allowing TypeScript to validate your code is working correctly, to check if your code is working correctly, and we look at the advantage to understand it better. So when you hear TypeScript, still JavaScript we are talking about, but that is typed, and we will learn about why we need JavaScript to become typed. Here, understanding TypeScript and its advantage over JavaScript. So JavaScript is often described as JavaScript that scale, but introducing static typing, JavaScript allows developers to describe the shape and behavior within the code, which can significantly enhance the development process in the following way. So you have error detection, and these are the features, these are the JavaScript compared to TypeScript. When you look at it, code documentation, editor support and ecosystem compatibility. When you can type in dynamic and static and dynamic. Now, in the previous lesson we learned about, which we are still going to convert this JavaScript to TypeScript. I told you what about if I come here, you see this let total main thing, and I decide to say, okay, this main thing, see, let me convert it to total, minted tokens equals to Solomon. That is more obvious. You don't understand. So I could easily know that, oh, this is number, this shouldn't be changed. But that tells you I didn't get error because this can be changed. Now, what about if I didn't do something obvious and I mistakenly say maybe 5 and put it inside quote. It's like I change this from this to this. But look at that, I got no error. Whereas this was declared as a variable, which is what? Data type number. But now I've changed it from here. You see, it's still saying it as number, whereas I've changed this. So this can give even access for your dApp to be compromised. It can make things difficult for you and have your project have a lot of bugs. So those are what we mean, that because JavaScript is free, which is part of JavaScript advantage, it also comes with that disadvantage that a lot of things can be changed, variables can be reassigned to another thing entirely that it shouldn't even be, because that would break your the website, the centralized website or dApp entirely. You will not still get error. And then when you don't have any error now, this could be so tough to detect that this was the error. And then even think if it is now more robust app and maybe it's just an open source, you are coming, you are not even the developer, it's not even make it difficult, because you might not think that somebody somewhere wanted to put number but represented it as string, and that's causing a lot of error. So those are part of the issues with JavaScript that TypeScript one is solving. So that's why we say this one is just dynamic, you can change it, but static means once you will still see it, once you set TypeScript to be like this now, once you set it, maybe when we get there, once you set it to 0, it sees it as number. I can't come later and change that to, except I want to change this where I declare it back to string. And once I change it back to string, any other places I interact with it, they will have error instantly that this thing is not number, like I was trying to interact with it as if they were number. So with that, you are able to quickly get your error fixed and manageable and reduce bugs. So compilation, this is interpreted, this need to be compiled to JavaScript. So that's why I say it's a subscript. It's just to add those type, those check, and you see them to ensure all those lapses in JavaScript is then patched up to reduce those error detection, runtime, compile time. So when you say runtime error, is we didn't see any error. This like a kind of, you are typing, you are doing this, you are getting error that, oh, this. Most time in JavaScript you get, but a lot of things can skip off like this. You won't get error. Maybe when you are trying to run the code and there is a place you do a kind of calculation. In fact, even if you do a kind of calculation, that's what's even so bad is that if I use this to do calculation, I've done it in previous lesson when we do operator. This now we just concatenate, especially if I just use the plus concatenation. If you just concatenate, if I say total of something plus this, if you just add this and then that one. So instead of 5 plus 5 equals to 10, it will now be like 5 plus 5 equals to 55. So you can imagine those errors. So in runtime, that's when you can get some of those errors. But this, even while it's still compiling, before you start running it and having issue that what's going on, it would have told you there's error here, there's error there, before I even compile to even allow you to run it. Before you get to runtime stage, you should try to fix all the error you have, which is much better than you have it running and then you are, where is the error? Community support, extensive, growing, and strongly backed by Microsoft. So I think it's Microsoft that introduced TypeScript. So learning curve lower, JavaScript. Normally you can't learn even TypeScript without learning JavaScript. That's why I've made our courses at dProgramming robust to make sure, based on my years of experience in web development, Web 2 development, to make sure you take things step by step. That's why you have all these things section by section, HTML, section 1, CSS section 2, section 3 we did JavaScript, then we do JavaScript API section 4, we move to GraphQL section 5, and JavaScript framework section 6, and now TypeScript section 7. So with that, you have a complete knowledge of front-end development. So the only thing I can say is missing here is if you want to be doing kind of all these like there are some platforms you use to design, I just forgot it now, so that is like a separate thing. I don't say that it's compulsory for everybody, because most time they can get people to do that and send you that, okay, this is the design of the site. Yeah, so when they do the design, they can send you that, okay, this is the graphical representation, then you turn it to code and a full functioning website. So now let's continue. If we look through, we move to section B, setting up TypeScript. So how do we set up? Note, we continue to use the code from our last lesson for the capstone project, where we called REST API directly. Also at the end of this lesson, I added what the updated code will look like after replacing the REST API with GraphQL API call. So I think this was an error there. It shouldn't be. This was for the GraphQL. So let's move on. Install TypeScript. This is the first thing you need to do. You need to install TypeScript. Like when we wanted to deal with GraphQL, you know, we install a lot of things like that. So we need to also install TypeScript into our project, and we'll take it step by step. Let's go back to this. We have our project here, and as usual, we name it to fit what we are doing. Now we are in TypeScript, so we need to rename this. And first, I need to stop this server. Or else if I just close it and then run another thing, it may block me from using this server and say something is using it. So close that first, then the live server as well. Let me end it so that all these stop working. You reload them. This is the GraphQL server. Both are not working. So let's quickly fix that up. If we have it here, that's how we do part time. We have done, let's copy this. The section 7, we are in section 7. The 6 is just JavaScript framework. So let's rename this to become our TypeScript. Yeah, live. So we'll clear this. Just if you do that on your own following this, it helps you to have things organized, and as a beginner you may get stuck and go and fetch where we deal with HTML only, CSS integrated into HTML. We introduce JavaScript into it, then we introduce API call, making call to CoinGecko to fetch crypto. Then here we did the GraphQL to turn the API call to GraphQL. If you have complex API calls and dApp doing a lot of API calls, you had better go for GraphQL. Then now we are in TypeScript, so we go in and we can rename this as well to TypeScript. Yeah, cool, and we are good to go. We open in terminal. Then as usual, you use the shortcut to open the file in VS Code. So here we go. Let's have this arranged. Cool, yes, just the author. So we have this now. Let me close the previous one so we don't get confused. So this is what we have now. See, it's the TypeScript. Can reduce this space. So we can now start taking this step by step. So let's go back. You see that nothing is running. So we can run the, let's have a terminal open, but we can run the live server. So it's still activating. once that is up, you can see we should see go live with the live server. Let's go to extension, let's go live. You see it now. We could see this now running instead of site cannot be reached, but the server is not up. That's the GraphQL Apollo server. Want to know how that we got about that? Please check the lesson for that. I won't be going up, so we can run the server as well. So I want us to run it so we see that things are working. You remember we just do pm start. How we came across all that is already explained in the GraphQL. So I think I need to open all these scripts. We will need them. Index.js, then package.json. Yeah, cool. So here we start the server, and once we start the server, if we refresh here, you see localhost 5000. We have the Apollo server, which will now allow these crypto prices to be fetched from the GraphQL endpoint. So if I refresh this now, it should be able to fetch the price if we don't have any issue, but it seems this is still loading. So when it's fully loaded, it appears that you might be offline. So that may be the reason why you see it's not showing up. Not sure why it's taking that long. Let's restart. I just want you to have a feel and be sure that everything is working, so that you see how we convert this project to a TypeScript project. Presently, it's purely a vanilla JavaScript project. So how do you make it more robust, dApp, and typed saved? So to make it type saved, so I think this will later come up itself. It still cannot be loaded. Yeah, let's continue. Let's get back to here. We need to install JavaScript. So we told you from here that JavaScript is not like a standalone language. No, that's the mistake or misconception a lot of new developer or beginner experience. So it's just to add those checks to your JavaScript to make it more robust, to handle robust dApp, and reduce the bug and headache and stress and all those things, because JavaScript doesn't give you. It also makes your dApp secure, because you don't want somebody to go behind and change the value and things and reassign issues like that. So to another thing entirely. Here we go. Let's see. So let's install, and you see the word G represents types globally. So since we want to use it globally, it's advisable wherever you install it, just put the G and then you will see. So here now, let's install this, and you see that we don't have anything TypeScript here. So once we install it, should be there. Or initiate it there. So but for now, let's do that. This server is running. Let's off this. I'm coming. Yeah, good, it's running now. You can see it, and this should be up if we refresh it. From the previous lesson, if you check it, this should display the price, but I think my network isn't good for the API to actually work. But you see that the server, GraphQL server, is running to serve it, so maybe it's not able to retrieve from this, which we did here. So it's making a call to this API. So there could be issue within the API or my own network, not able to retrieve directly from it. So now we have this working. We need to change it to TypeScript and must work. So that's what we want to use to learn throughout this TypeScript crash course. Let's cancel this and then clear. So cool. Then we can start. Set pnpmi, short for install -g. So it's better when you are installing this for the first time, install it not just in this project but in your computer, so that anytime all you just need is to initialize it, and then it will, once you install it that way, it will just be available on your system anytime. You just need to initialize it to that specific project that doesn't have it already. So we still do. Let's see. So the time it will take depend on your network. So yeah, you can see that we have the TypeScript installed. So my network took a while. Now it's done. You see, it took about 8 minutes. That's much. So yours will be just, if the network is fast, it's just something like a minute or even less. The next thing now, let's go back to our package.json and then close this. We open it. So we have that installed, the TypeScript installed. Then the next thing is, let's go back to the instruction. Is initialize TypeScript in your project. I told you what we installed earlier was using this command, which is to install TypeScript itself on the computer as a whole and globally. So it's available to be used to initialize TypeScript in any project we use on that computer. So you should understand the difference and don't be confused with it. So this time around, we want to now initialize it. So to initialize it, we use TSC, so which I think represents TypeScript compiler. So because remember, we learned here that TypeScript is not, you can't use TypeScript directly. So you have to compile it first to JavaScript to be able to use it. So it's just that you don't need to be bothered about the compiling. It helps you to make sure the bug and everything is done, and then use that to create a very more clean and secured JavaScript, very strictly secured JavaScript. So this is it now. We have the TypeScript in it. Then we copy. Let's paste this here. And then you will see, just watch here as well. So did you see it? I created a new tsconfig.json file, and these are some of the details about it. So let's open it. I have this the file we just created. Let's go there. You see it now. We have this. Usually most time you can see this error, so but that will not stop it from working. Yeah, so if it's just this packet error, now let's check through. You see a lot of these things you see are like comment, but actually they are not just comments. Most of these things you see are specific. Anything is like they created for different use cases. So it depends on the use case you need that you will uncomment that particular aspect of the code. Look at this one now, was uncommented, that the target should be ES 2016 module common.js. You understand, things like that. So we quickly need to set up some things right there ourselves. So let's see. Oh, I've done something wrong here. Did I type on anything? So yeah, seems I click on something there that typed, we shouldn't type anything. I was just trying to scroll, but I didn't know I was already typing something inside. So everything, if it's just this error here, but any other error you need to make sure it's fixed. It won't work without it. So now let's see those ones we need, and we need to the 3 configure TypeScript config file, which is the TypeScript config.json. So it's our config file, and we need to configure some things. You need to adjust the config.json to uncomment some things to set up the output directly directory. One, out directory, that's like output code. Tell the TypeScript compiler tsc which directory to output the compiled .ts file to JS file. So remember, you are taking this TypeScript file and converting it to JS file. Meanwhile, in case I didn't mention earlier, just like your HTML, you save it with .html, CSS with .css. That's how each of those individual compiler and browser know how to handle it. Is it with JavaScript? So, and when it's JavaScript is .js, but when you are dealing with TypeScript, it has to be .ts. So you would have seen something like that. So this is configuration, that's config file. So that's why it's .json, just like this package JSON. So it controls the TypeScript you initialize that you'll be using. So for us to do that, we can change this to .typescript or any other thing we want to change. You understand? So if we want to make this, instead of just being JavaScript directly, we want to first make it TypeScript compatible. We need to first change this from JS or create another file entirely. Then that must be .ts, not JS. So over here now, we need to change this. So since you are compiling, we are trying to tell it that, okay, when we compile, which file do we want the output? You will get what I'm saying now. Don't get confused. When we compile this file, let's say it's TypeScript, then we have already used TypeScript to make sure it's okay, no error like that. Then we now want to convert it back to .js, which is JavaScript. Which file or which folder do we want that generated JavaScript to be outputted in? So you can name it anything you want, but most times there are some general like a general rule that you will see in a lot of projects. So that's why they usually use this /this distill, you understand, for that folder. Then we have the second thing here, which will be the root. You see, this should be 2. That was a typo error from me. So we have the root directory code, tells TypeScript compiler which file directly to look for the .ts file for compilation. So you know that I want to do 2 things here. We need to tell this kind of script controlling the TypeScript compiler TSC. Number 1, where should it look for the TSC file? Number 2, once it grabs the TSC file, compile it, where should it output the JavaScript? So you understand it now. So this directory is where it will output. This directory, root directory, is where it will locate the TypeScript. So let's quickly do that. I'm coming. Then as well, like I told you, okay, we are not, that you can rename this JS to TypeScript for it to now be able to use TypeScript. So then TypeScript types and interface. So before we go to that, let's quickly do this. We can either rename it. If we rename this now, you will see what will happen here. Just I think F2 or Just change the J to T, and notice that immediately this icon changed for J from JS to TypeScript. You can see, you see it. So, and immediately I do this, you see that this is now filled with a lot of errors, a lot, telling us, you see, this is possibly no. All those things are there, which we still quickly learn about some of them. Now, that's what I'm telling you now. What didn't have any error before, as pure JavaScript, is now full of load of errors. And you see the errors. So we can turn this, and then we need to, it means we need to rewrite almost everything you have in this code to conform to TypeScript, which we will do with, you do it with AI. Like I've told you, that's the benefit. So you don't need to sit down, you know, gone are those days you need to take this one by one. No, you just copy it to your AI, put it there, and then you get it there with some context, and you get it outputted for you. So let's check what else we have, because we are following these steps. Then we have turned it, compile the TypeScript file to JavaScript. So now for us to compile, we need to use this, remember, TypeScript compiler. That's for us to say, compiler, compile this for us. But let's see, you will see what will happen now. Paste, and then enter. You see a lot of errors, that's coming up, and then you see it output this for us. Inside there, you can see that we now have the JavaScript, but there are a lot of errors, so there could be some things that may go wrong here, but this may still work, because you know the normal JavaScript works. So, but you see what it turned it to compared to what we add ourselves. We didn't declare this, but it's having a lot of those things declared for us. And you see, use street, that's streetly typed. So that once you set this now, you can't change it again, and things like that. To what I explained earlier, you have number, then you can't turn it again to string, and things like that. So let's go back. Maybe I should quickly give you an example here before, because majorly we will take this particular dApp, NFT Minter front end we are building, and turn it entirely to TypeScript. So, but before we do that, we need to learn some basic things about TypeScript more. So let's do this. Let's see. Let me delete this. Yeah, and then this TypeScript, let's turn it back to rename, turn it back to JS, so we have all those errors disappear. Do you see it now? So as we have said here, let's set what this told us. It said we should locate this out directory and set it to from this to this. So let's see, this is what this. So you go back to config, I think F3 or something like that, find, to make it easier. You see that it's commented out. So just don't uncomment, because this is a comment. Just clear here, and then you see it's now out. Then put this to be distilled. I told you it could be other one, but these are like common something that's being used. You can save them. Another thing we need to set is, this is the directory you have to put into, and this is the directory, root directory, where we want it to be looking for. So since coming, let's search for that first. So you see it now, we got this. Let's clean it up as well. So as you'll be seeing it in your project, that most time will be like src, or maybe Next.js new version like /app, but usually like source. So we turn this also to source and save. Now once you save this, what we did previously, if I repeat the same thing, just look at this. I repeat the same thing and say TypeScript, and then try to compile it again. Enter. You see that it says file not found the root directory, but it tried its best to locate it here anyway. But I just want to point that to you so that you know you have to create folders that represent what we set up there. I'm coming, we'll do that. Let's return that. I just want to make sure you grabbed it. Yeah, so we told our compiler here that the directory will be source. So we need a new folder, source, src, good. Not yet good. Move to trash. It ought to be folder, not file. src folder. Yeah, so we can have something coming. Then we also need to this output directory into this. So let's do that to make things easier. We create another one called. So we are saying TypeScript should look into here for TypeScript files, and then once it's compiled to JavaScript, it should put it there. So this makes things organized. So any of your TypeScript, you can move this inside here, and then when you run anything, you make sure it will be outputted there. So inside there now, let's create a new folder and call it just test.ts. So it's TypeScript. And an example of like TypeScript is, instead of what we got here, saying let's just copy it so you see, and we just want this, and you can use your AI. You can see that here down we put type column. Need to get rid of this. I say column number. So you see it now. Yeah. Here, remember what I did initially. I'm just trying to make sure you understand this example. If I copy this same thing, look at what will happen here, and I bring it here. Remember, inside there wasn't error. I just commented it out. There was no error. It's working fine. But here now, there will be issues there. Let's see. Let me just try to comment it out. Do you see? Type string is not assignable to type number. Now, if you get error like this, and you are not able to compile it, if you go ahead and compile this, and your code break, your dApp break, you easily know where the problem lies. So you know that you should have fixed this error before you try to convert it to JavaScript and use the JavaScript. So this is what I'm telling you. But compare it. Let's put it side by side. Compare it to this. I wasn't getting error. So I can even move ahead, change this again, that total minted token. Then comes here again. I change it from that to true. You can imagine. So that means I initialize the variable actually as a number data type. Then I change it along the line in the code to become a string. And then again along the line, I change it to be what? To be either true or false. Let's see what happens here. Which, you see it, we call Boolean. But this isn't complaining, see. But it's still telling me number. Why? So these are basic errors that makes JavaScript more complex and makes TypeScript more meaningful there. So you see here now, then let's click here as well, see. Type Boolean is not assignable to type number. So it ensures it restricts you. Yeah, you say, why should I be restricted? I should be able to change. You should think about it that you are building like a calculator dApp, for example, or people are minting. You need to calculate amount they are minting. And somebody is able to go into your dApp. After they minted, the function that we add what they have minted. Look at when we built this dApp, we make sure it's only able to mint maybe 10,000 if you remember. From here, if you start minting just maximum of like 10,000, but now somebody is able to mint and then make sure that within that function that is added as a string. So because of that, this our dApp has been compromised. The person will mint 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, or as many tokens as they can mint, and won't know, because this will still even be telling us they have minted 0 token because they have turned it to a string. You get things like that. So you don't, and also if you have a robust dApp, there will be errors that will give you a nightmare to figure out. But once this has helped us to figure it out so easily and early on, we know what to do, we know where to look for the problem and fix it. So you can understand what I'm saying now. Anything goes like that with JavaScript, but TypeScript say no. Everything doesn't go with me. Then this now help you convert to JavaScript, and you are sure that JavaScript now will be will be bug free compared to if you have used it directly like this, and this could be a bug that could break your project. You understand? So that's it. If I try to, now let's try again to compile it, you will see that the same error are coming. Is not? Then if we open here now, you see it has compiled it. You see that it compiled it back to this same thing that I did here. But it already told me this isn't professional, this isn't okay. And you see, use street. This isn't okay, even though it still went ahead and compiled it for me. But as a professional, I shouldn't have all this error and end up go and use this output. Then I'm risking a lot of issue or a lot of open back doors to compromise my dApp. So I won't want to do that. So I can just delete this off or leave it. Once we do it, it will override it. So that's just giving you an idea. You get what I'm saying now? Because now we say whenever we type that, it should look into the source file and then compile it into this. That makes everything organized for us as well, to know where to deal with the TypeScript and where to deal with the output of the TypeScript. So good. That is settled, and don't forget, if you get stuck, you have question, always use the comment below. Not the Discord is good. You connect with other Web3 developer, get support even for your own project, anyone that like to support or become partner or anything, and also official update. But when it comes to direct support to specific lesson, I don't give time to answer maybe on YouTube or any other platform. You have to come and comment here. Advantage of that is it helps other students coming after you that may have the same question, not to bother asking same question, because it won't be attended to. Instead, they read, they learn, they get that fixed from what is just there and can just respond, wow, this also helped me. So that's it. And we also have resources, you can learn more. So let's get back as we continue. Where are we? So you can see this now, and similar to what we did, look at this now. If I say now let's use the correct something, then assign it back to 5, which is like the correct something. You can use this, you can decide not to use it, but you see after it help us convert it help us put, because it's street, it makes sure nothing goes wrong like that. So we have reassigned this. You see that it's number and we got no issue. Though this age now, a lot of this like VS Code, you have if you have installed like some TypeScript, some of these things, even by default with most of this IDE now like VS Code, a lot of this type check has been put into them. So I can even put it like this and it will still be able to identify it, that you see number, and still does not allow me. But if you want it to to be clear expressly. Then, so anybody that sees this and understands TypeScript know that this is assigned as a number. Then they don't want to mess with anything here because it will give them error and may eventually break the code. So you see I've assigned this, but here it's not having that yet. So once I compile it again, and you see that it was updated. So but you will notice that each time before it gets updated, any changes I will have to come and do it manually. So all those you also don't want it. So you have to be able to do it automatically. Remember the same thing we did with GraphQL server when we use NodeMon, and it's able to track the changes consistently for us for any changes. The same you can do here, and that is what brought about this watch. TS, we can do TS watch, and what that does for us is if I come here now and paste, so we need another something because that will be running like that. So here now let's paste this. Let's just paste it. Paste. Then look at what is happening. It's like live. Start compiling. So it's like watching it. So if I come here now and reassign this to 80, you know, previously if I save, I have to compile manually. Now look at what will happen. Save. You see, it refreshes itself. Once I come here, I will see it. You could see. So that's another essential thing for you to know. And then we can assign this instead of typing all this out like that. We can just add it to our package JSON. You see it, watch. Then we come here. You remember the script just like we did with NodeMon. You have to put comma or else there will be error. Then we'll paste this. See, watch. So now all I need is to just use pn watch. So whatever you want to name it, you can say watch TypeScript TS or something. So just name it or start or this. So you see that we achieved the same thing. And any changes I make here, 89, this is 80. Once I save, it automates it, and then you can see it, everything changes. So those are how this also works. So it's like we have already set up this TypeScript. You now have idea compiling it. So I intentionally use this simple example because if we use this as a beginner, first having your experience of TypeScript, it might become so complex for you to compare, but at least you understand how to install TypeScript globally, how to initialize it into your project with init, which created this, and how to configure the output directory and the other root directory to look for this and to compile to this. Then you can manually do the TSC, or you set it automatically using this script, and things work from there. So let's keep moving. Sorry for any background noise. TypeScript types and interface. So let's quickly learn. You know, we told you type is, so since it helps you put type on JavaScript, it's just the same like you have JavaScript. So you have types, data types, like, you know, what they call it, types like number, string, boolean, which you already learned all this in JavaScript. If not, get the previous lesson. I see numeric, text, true or false, array, we learned array. You see tuple, fixed size, and typed array. I don't think, yeah, this is more, I think I experienced this in like Rust, yeah, something like that. So enum is also present in like Solidity. Then any named constant. Then you understand what a constant is. when you are dealing with JavaScript, which means a variable type that you can never change again. Later, once assigned, this is different from TypeScript. You cannot reassign it. If I do const max token number, you can see it now. Even if I come here and do max mintable token number equals to 10, you see that it's still number. It's not string like this one, but it's still giving error. Why? Because it's constant. Its value is constant, should be always 5. So I don't expect it to ever change throughout the dApp, lifestyle of the dApp. So now trying to change it, you see, cannot assign to, because it is a constant. And you see TypeScript give me a more, let's see this same error here. If we try, let's see if the error will be the same. Minting limit equals to 20,000 from 10,000. Sorry, 20,000. You can see there's no error here until when it's compiled. You see, for me to see that error, let's close this. I will have to come here, then run this. Even these prices are not showing yet. Let's we already learned that from the first lesson, so go back. You just need to run this script. I'm typing inside there now. I want to type in the terminal pnpm start. You see, this is running, and if we come here, we refresh now. This server should be up cool. So I expect it to work now. You should pull the price from the GraphQL Apollo server. Maybe it's still trying to connect. So that was what we did here earlier. Now let's leave that and continue. So we have the GraphQL server running to pull these prices, and then so you can have multiple terminals. Just click the plus and you can close any one of them with this. So you can run server and some other things like that. Here we have this server running. Then let's go here. Let's come. This is for the TypeScript, watching it, listening to any changes. So we should also leave it. As I said, you can, when you are running things like that, don't try to stop it, because once you stop it, what you are trying to achieve will not be done again. So you can always just start a new something, so other one will be running. So here we have a new one. Yeah. The global. Now let's inspect and see what I was trying to show you. Console. You see, assignment to constant variable. I'm coming. That shouldn't show. You see that it's not showing error. See, cannot read property of no reading map at fetch crypto price. So this one is giving us the error why the price isn't fetching. So the error is coming from, yeah. So there's maybe error with calling the API. So maybe that is down, or we have used, because I told you it's the free. So even as I'm doing the classes and I'm refreshing, I can hit limit a day or something. So either of that, or we just check on that aspect. But for now, this is what we are focusing on. Let's see this. Go back to console. So let's leave this. Now you will see that apart from that, there's no error like this one. Let's uncomment this and let's save. when you look at, there's no error here. So I have to go and check inside the console, because it's run time is after that code has run. I will now discover there may be errors. Then I have to open console to inspect the error, and tells me assignment to constant variable at. You understand what I'm saying? So, but TypeScript right away tells me that, man, this thing, you cannot allow this to reassign. So right away, without waiting to compiling time, I can quickly fix issues. So you are beginning to see the difference. That's why I'm taking it bit by bit, because I know a lot of you watching this lesson, you are beginner, picking from history and all those things. So I always consciously, and I say, if you are intermediate, and so you can always keep this any aspect, but you can begin to see reasons why we use TypeScript, and TypeScript is, recommended. That's it, you've learned. So let's go back, and you've seen a lot of types, and those types are what I've used some of them here. So it's just like your normal is, it's back to JavaScript. So you have this is the number, this string, this boolean, and then we still have number and things like that. So, and this is how you assign it. So this one now, for example, if we truly want to assign it, we can say total minted token reached. Then this should be what? Look at what will happen. You see, there's already error, expression expected. So total token reached. Let's total token reached. So we assign it as what? Boolean. Yeah. You see, the error disappeared, because if you over this, it tells you the value, and we never allow you to reassign it to any other thing beside boolean. So the same when you're assigning a string, you call it string. So like this one now, if I say let token 2 equals to string, you see it instantly see that this is string. Then I can change it. But if you want it to be expressly seen, you type it like this, a string. So you see it now. So that's how you deal with all those types. Then user-defined types also, like interface and types earlier. So you can customize the interface. When we talk about like object in JavaScript, where you want to have name of a human being, you name the age, the gender, the complexion, the nationality, you understand all those things, the height. So you can also use to assign. You say consider an object that represents a cryptocurrency in JavaScript. You directly use the object, but in TypeScript you can define its structure. You see it, you just assign Bitcoin, it has name, symbol, price. But instead here you define the interface that you have name, symbol, price. Then const Bitcoin is cryptocurrency, which is taking this cryptocurrency name, Bitcoin, this and that. So then we talk about classes and objects in TypeScript. So object classes are blueprint for creating objects with a specific shape and behavior. So you can see example: function cryptocurrency, name, symbol, price, this dot name, this dot symbol, then const Ethereum, new cryptocurrency Ethereum. You understand? It and price. So this dot name equals to name, this dot symbol. So creating a class for cryptocurrency. Then look at it in TypeScript, how it will be written in TypeScript. See it. So you have the constructor, and then you have the Ethereum typed in. So like I told you, a lot of these things, just have idea of them and understand the basic things that really matter. Is if you have a project that is not TypeScript, how can you introduce TypeScript to it? Those are all you need to know. What are the basic types involved in TypeScript? How do you be able to compile? You should understand that, okay, you need to compile it to JavaScript, then use it. Most other things when it comes to this code, all these AI tools are getting super better to create them for you. So you shouldn't be stressing yourself. What AI can create for you in 2-3 minutes, then you spend another 1, 2, 3 hours or a whole day or more trying to figure it out. You are not efficient as a developer, and we'll be losing a lot of opportunity. That isn't the kind of developer we are building in the programming university. That's why all our projects are AI enhanced. So all our courses. So advanced TypeScript as well. There are some other things like the objective generic, enable you to have flexible reusable function. So all those as well, there are different example of when they are used, so you can read more under the resources as well. So for now, I just want to move to this section, TypeScript best practices. So always use type, prefer interface over types, use utility types, avoid any type. So any is like something like unknown. You declare it using like any here. So avoid it because it can cost you issue down the line. Yeah, so that's what that is saying. And you can read through so that it's easy to test and actually write tests to verify the types and function. Now let's go here. You can see some of those examples. Convert JavaScript. So this is where we're actually going. At least I've run you through a lot of things. So now we should be able to go through this together, which is this our existing project. You know, I just did test. We have installed JavaScript, TypeScript globally. We have initialized it inside it already, so we don't need to do that. But you need to remember that's so important. Make sure TypeScript is installed on your computer globally to install, initialize it in that project. So you should. So whenever you are dealing with any project, be it React, Next.js, or anything, and you see this TypeScript config, it shows you, tells you straight on that that project uses TypeScript. So these are essential things you just need to know. But a lot of other things, with the help of those AI tools, you get things done. So now we did this test. I just use it as an example so that we can, let's just clear this and at least run one of it. Then if I rerun this, you will see there won't be any error. You see, even the one I tried to comment it out, still giving error. You can see how strict TypeScript can be. So let's go back and npm watch. Yeah, so this is what you will likely be getting. 0 error watching the file changes. Then start watching for you, and then whatever we've done, we see it right here. You can see it now and everything. So let's now convert. So I think this doesn't disturb us anywhere. I would say I should delete it, but let's just leave it there and this there. So we can do as many TypeScript files, doesn't disturb each other. So it's just where we need them that matters. So here we have the JSON. Any changes? So cool. Now that we have this, let's transform our project to. So the first thing I want to do is I want to move this inside the source. Remember, inside our TypeScript, we have told the TypeScript compiler that it should always look inside this source for our TypeScript. So, and we are changing this to TypeScript. And once we compile it, it will change it inside here. And remember, we got here. Do you see it? I'm coming. Can I redo that? You see that immediately I pull that file inside there, this thing keep restarting because it's like it's watching that TypeScript changes, and this folder has been set inside there. So let's even change this to TypeScript F2. See, you see it now, and all those errors like 9 plus are coming. Don't worry. Then let's move it inside source, because that's where our compiler will be looking. You see it as we started. This the node. So because all those things are listening to any changes you are doing. So this one also, you see font 16 error that instantly says this. So if you like have 10 TypeScript, it will watch everything for you. That's one of the interesting thing about, you see that instantly is telling us there's a lot of error with this particular file. So let's go back. 16 errors. Wow. So it will tell us everything. So you can easily fix error with TypeScript, because even the error output tells you precisely what is causing the problem. Now we can close this because I'm not using it again, and then we can remove all this. We have done example about them already, so you can see it now. Cannot we declare block scope variable. So a lot of issues are coming up. It's possibly no. See, parameter amount implicit as any. Remember I told you should not use any type, because it's like you are breaking TypeScript back to JavaScript. Like I can use data type of number to initialize, then later use string, and so why can't you just use JavaScript directly? Why waste your time on TypeScript? So except for essential cases, so but be careful. So let's go. We have this. You see the error will keep popping up. You see 15 error found watching the file. What do we do next? We have to, and you see that I've done it. Each time I save, it has converted to JavaScript. You see that we didn't need 2, so we now have it here because we have the 2. So if you have 10, 20, it will convert them because we have automated with all those things we set up. Now we are not concerned about the JavaScript is changing. We are concerned about the TypeScript. Once you are using TypeScript, you are less concerned about the JavaScript. That one will figure itself out because it's been compiled from here. You don't need to go and edit here. So here, the next step here, we have the existing code. Then we are changing this. You see, let's ask AI to refactor our existing JavaScript types global script to TypeScript. So like here now, this is TypeScript, you can see it. So depending if you are using like ChatGPT, I think I used ChatGPT earlier. Like now, I think, let me see, I'm not sure this is still working. This script, you know, I've opened it. Yeah. Can you help? I like to, let's see, convert this previous .js file, which I've renamed to TS file. Can you help convert this JavaScript code fully to TypeScript to fix all errors, because it was previous .js file and I renamed to TS file. So the JavaScript code, let's extend this. Then let's indicate that file actually, so it's nowhere to go. That's the global script.ts. Yeah, let's give it a try. So the AI is thinking, and you can just copy it as well and say, okay, maybe the Web3 something that I built with ChatGPT. That's the GPT. If you know, sure, I can help with. However, I need to see the content. You see, to provide proper, would you please provide the content file? You see, so that's why I said I wanted to use this before. We'll do it again. Then before I do that, because it's not aware of, so I need to do at, you know, if it is like ChatGPT now, I would have copied the code. So that's what it's asking me. But once I say at workplace, this GitHub Copilot, it will take the file itself. Let's see it. Let's try it again. You see, that's trying to use, determine the workplace. I just want you to have the idea how I generated this. I could just copy this. This is already tested and working fine. But that's the essence of this course being AI enhanced to empower you. So you don't need to bother like trying to fix all this error. We just tell AI to rewrite everything for you to be TypeScript conform to TypeScript, and then that will leave the headache. I think this is my network. That's why it's so slow. So now we have it. I've shown you. If it's an ChatGPT as well, we just copy this over there. So now let's copy what we've got here. And bring it in. But it's still gathering this. I think my network is just so bad today. Gathering info still. That isn't good enough. So for now, let's see, or maybe. So let me widen this so you see what I'm doing. Then reduce this a bit. So all this now, I can just delete this entirely, the TypeScript. Remember we are here. Then delete it entirely. Then I will paste this. You see it? Oops, what's happening? Oh, I've copied some other thing there, right? Ooh. Yeah, refactored TypeScript. Oh, I will have to fix this. So I'll fix it. So the after, anyways, let's go and use that. Global will now have changed it to TypeScript. I had an error there. Seems I copy it with other code, so it should have this. Yeah, this is what ought to be there. Hopefully I will remember to fix it. So yeah, we shouldn't have any error. You can see that precisely just similar to what we did. See, cannot redeclare block scope variable total minted token, because it was mentioned somewhere here, scoped somewhere already. So, but let's see, or at least you can see, imagine having about 15 or 16 errors, everything gone. Why is this posting? Like, this happens to me in VS Code at times. When I copy something and paste it, then that thing will copy and repaste itself twice. And I have to quickly leave that file again and come back. I've not even researched why that error happens. So, but now you can see it that we only have this and everything actually is working as expected. So let's now try to go and run it and see. You can see now it's now saying just found 2 errors. You see, from almost like 15 error or 16 error previously, you can see it, that token, and then let token equals to 0. It seems we will declare it somewhere. Let's search for it. did we? Let's do F3 search. Yeah, so that will figure it out for us. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I don't know where it's saying the other one, and it's saying we declare it. I don't know. Let's total token. Let's see. Oh, imagine. So it's even like another TypeScript file. That's so interesting, because I was wondering why. That is like, wow. That's interesting. Cool. I was wondering, see, all error gone. No error. So because I was wondering, but you can see what I was trying to tell you. I was able to locate it because the error were very clear and points me that, okay, here it was declared, clicked on it, and it opened that I've redeclared it in another file. So it's like everything should be working in line, which is good. You can imagine even watching this against another file, ensuring you don't use the same kind of name if you are not conscious or intentional, because that could cause issue. That's interesting of TypeScript. So you can see it now. So, but you know, could be confusing. But with AI, I didn't have to even understand a lot of this thing myself. Just once you understand the basic, just go to those AI, those basic we've gone to put it for you, and then so we have a TypeScript perfectly working. Then let's try to see it. Yeah, I'm coming. Global script. So this, let's bring this back. Let me see. This is running. This also is running. Let's kill this off. Yeah. Then let's restart the server again to run the app again. So we have the token minter working back, and remember, if you want to mint, say ready to mint. But you see that seems this JavaScript isn't working again. Let's see. You see, remember it was working in previous lesson. You can click to mint, it will show. So it shows that we have this TypeScript now. We've done, and but now it's not working. So it has something broken. Okay, another this was generated there, which shouldn't be. So you should make sure, that's why I said everything should be here. There shouldn't be confusion. We move the JavaScript, global script, we rename it to TypeScript and move it under source, because under our TypeScript configuration, we have said the compiler, TypeScript compiler, should look inside source for TypeScript and compile them under this dist folder. Good, which is what happened here. Let's save again. It will recompile. So we shouldn't have anything like global script here again. But now let's see. So, but this is the JavaScript. You see that it's not no more working. Unlike before, we can do anything, nothing is interacting. So how do we fix that? Remember, inside our index that was displaying this, I just want you to learn how those things, when you change a file, you need to change it. Remember this global script that we were using. Yeah, we were using slash, which was to be inside here. Let me close this. So it was previously with all this. So that was when it was working. But now we move here, turn it to TypeScript so that it gets outputted here. So if we want to deal with this thing, we have to redirect this to where it is. If I click here now, it should tell me that file not found. You see, unable to open. You say set create file. No, I'm not creating it. So it's not found. So let's clean this. Then slash this still, then you see it. Cool. Then we save it. So this now, if we follow it, you should be able to open, you see, the JavaScript that was converted for us. So let's go back and then let's mint. Do you see things working back? Invalid. So we want to mint 0, it won't allow. You see, then let's put a wallet, for example, invalid wallet or amount. So let's turn this to 1, then we can mint. See, successfully minted 1 token to wallet. So you see that now the TypeScript is actually working. So all we need to do is to repoint our HTML to like our JavaScript now is now inside this file. Assuming we didn't create this file, we tell it to just create it inside there, then we won't need to do that. But I told you those things need to be well organized, because if not, everything will just get mixed up. So you can know that, okay, when I'm looking for the TypeScript, they are somewhere here. When I want to look at the JavaScript it generated, I look for here. So getting organized is so essential. So I think we've learned a lot, and we've seen why these are AI enhanced. Yeah. So these are AI enhanced, crash courses where you use AI tools to be able to make use of those things. So we don't need to struggle. So I'm a beginner. I don't know this. I don't know that. Just tell the AI. It will just, this is the JavaScript, convert it to fully TypeScript to conform to TypeScript, and then we have it and just copy paste. If you got any error, just send it back the error, because TypeScript make it super easier to identify the error. Then it will guide you on how to fix it. So with this now, we have been able to run this back, the TypeScript, you see, including all the asynchronous function for the GraphQL. We're able to rerun it again. Then I think this is one of the issue we are having here. That's why this price was not. You see, we have our GraphQL server, which is this, running at 5,000. But here we are trying to call 5,001. No, let's change that. Should be 5,000. Let's see. Then save. Let's see if this gets pulled. Cool. You see it's working. Then we declare something, total token minted somewhere. Total minted token. So it's coming up somewhere where we have to make sure we look and figure that out. But the major thing now is we have this working back. It can mint. You see, then we set this to be 10,000 maximum. Yeah. So once we start minting, you see them 6, 7, and once you get to 10, it will tell you that it has stopped. You see, minting limit reached, no more token to be minted. So the JavaScript, everything is working nice, and we have this also working fine. So now with everything automated, a lot of things automated, any changes I made in this TypeScript, once I save it, it will auto compile and update, and once this update, it will update what you are seeing here. The same with the previous GraphQL. So I believe you've really learned a lot in this. Even as a beginner, you never used TypeScript before. You now get it clearer and understand the basic things, and every other thing you can always ask your AI. And once you can understand this basic, you can follow me step by step, install TypeScript, understand that you need to initialize it into whatever project. You can take that project, create configure the TypeScript config file to whatever, depending, maybe you are using React on those things. Then from there, you do your TypeScript. You can take your existing JavaScript and tell AI tools to convert it. And once it's converted, you set it, then you also watch, like we set this package JSON. So you see it, so, and then once we do watch or start, whatever you put, so then it start watching, so that anytime you change anything in TypeScript, it gets pushed straight to the other one as well. So that's, I think those are the things, yeah. And then if you got stuck, those are the reason the codes are there. You have the official, some of them are official documentation to consult. You need help specific to this TypeScript crash course lesson, please ask here. You can join our Discord, as I said, officially, to meet and get support generally. Even for your project, you can post and ask questions at times. You may see the community, other developers responding, but don't expect response from me to things like that, maybe personal project or even lessons like this on the Discord. But you'll be getting official updates and things like that. And at times the community also come to support. But for specific lesson you get stuff, these are the best place, not even private DM, to ask, read existing question. If they have been answered, then you can just respond. This is also still helpful for me, so it's other students know that currently it's still helpful, but don't ask or repeat the same question. So that's it in this AI enhanced TypeScript crash course. We've learned everything and be able to take a actual project, dApp Minter, and take it from pure vanilla JavaScript and transform it to be a more robust type script powered dApp. So, and then we tested it, cool, and everything is running like our normal JavaScript, and everything is running as expected. So that's just it. I remain Solomon Foske of the Programming University. Keep the programming spirit alive, and please always do good to humanity and nature with your knowledge, any knowledge you have, and your programming skill to make the world and the universe a better place for us all. So see you, peace, and bye.